Well, Lumiere, now you've done it. Who are all these people?
Why, Cogsworth, they are here to see the Fandango Musical Players production of Beauty and the Beast.
But the noise, all that bipping and beeping.
Cogsworth, I'm surprised at you. Surely they know to turn off their cell phones and all other electronic devices, and that there is to be no flash photography.
And no videotaping.
But of course.
In that case, Lumiere, I suppose we should tell them to sit back, relax.
You relax.
And enjoy Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
And that we're happy they've chosen to be our guest.
You always have to have the last word, don't you?
I was just answering your question.
I remind you that I am head of the household.
Cogsworth, don't make me light you up.
This week on iLetunes, we'll get louder with some LGBTQ representation, we'll chew some cud, and we'll chat with outside-the-box country crooner Lawrence Maxwell ahead of his Merle Haggard tribute show this Friday. You ready, PEI? Let's get her done! Hello, Prince Edward Island. I am Adam Michael James, and you are listening to iLetunes for the week of October 1st, 2023. Happy Treaty Day, which also kicks off Mi'kmaq History Month. This little podcast is the only place you're going to hear island artists from all eras, all genres, and all walks of life. Am I wearing that like a badge? You bet your sweet broomstick. In lieu of the usual PEI saying that starts the show, I played you the Please Turn Off Your Phones bit that I recorded for the 2015 Confederation Center production of Beauty and the Beast as Lumiere, alongside Peter Serkan as Cogsworth. Peter passed away unexpectedly last Sunday, and it was a bit of a gut punch. Since copyright issues would prevent me from playing a song with us from the show, I wanted to pay tribute with the next best thing that I had, and I want to dedicate this episode to Peter. Cogsworth, I know the master is taking good care of you now. Perhaps it's appropriate that I inadvertently chose this song to go first, as I met this artist in another show I did. To think I met Russell Lauder when we were in Sweeney Todd together in 2011. They've come a long way. Russell now calls Montreal home. And they released their first EP, Think of Light, in 2017. If you're picking up on the pronouns, Russell is non-binary, and their latest album, Fair Weather, just came out yesterday. So I am pleased and proud to be able to debut a track from this release that's so fresh, my out-of-the-freezer bread is ancient by comparison. This is Russell Lauder with Need on what I like to call an
iLetunes World Premiere.
I take my place, you take the room, and I feel the rush I told myself was too good to be true. Is it a taste for you? It's in my veins, it's running through. Thought I knew the pain of wanting more until I met you. you need. Come take what you need. What you need. Come take what you need. I can give you what you need. Come take what you need. What you need. Come take what you need.
No, thank you, I don't need your help this time. My matches light, my fire's fine, just fine. I've been burning bridges since around when I turned 4. I can make a torch from anything that I can hold. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. And I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. Bury myself. My mother warned me, child, will you never learn? You'll never make it far if you can't wait your turn. You burn these bridges like your packs of cigarettes. You leave so little when you take all you can get. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. I dug my way to the bottom, I can bury myself. I bury myself. I bury myself. I bury myself. I bury myself.
Jordan Cameron with Burn Your Bridges on iTunes. I swear to Cosmos, I did not plan on linking together folks I did theater with, but here we are. I met Jordan as he played the aforementioned Master in Beauty and the Beast with me and Peter. As for Jordan's music, his 2013 Your History album, from which this track was played, earned him a Music PEI Award nomination for Best Male Vocalist. Jordan also donated a year's worth of royalties from that album to the Canadian Red Cross. From Hollywood to Hunter River, it's the nature of bands to have members on more than one roster. This is true of guitarist Colin Crowther, and this is the foundation of this week's iTunes Rock Block. Colin's Band A, shall we call it, is Diffuser, and they describe their output, quote, the perfect blend of gut-busting rock and roll, funk, blues, and soul, unquote. Consider my gut busted if their 2018 album To Jerry With Love is any indication. Colin's Band B, shall we call it, is Heather, who just came out with their collection Foundations earlier this year and counts Big Wreck and The Trues as their inspo. So why not link these bands together? This Colin connection starts with Bendy Wendy from Diffuser, and I have a feeling the reason she's bendy has nothing to do with grabbing a Frosty in the drive-thru. She's the beginning of an
iTunes Rock Block.
Color and I love that I do. When I do what I love, then I know I won't stutter when I speak to you. I'm trying to keep my chin up and my eyes wide open. Less spoken. is what I'm needing, whether fair, fine, or fleeting. A remedy to the state of mind, well, that I know. Getting daggers from across the floor. Ooh, I'm not so certain like I was before.
Heather, hailing from the North Shore of PEI and giving you what they term, quote, a floral infusion of arousing rock and roll, unquote, with Chin Up. Coming up, heading eastbound, and an all-time country great being paid tribute by an island country great. Braden V is a singer, rapper, and DJ who likes to blend the genres of hip-hop, pop, and rap, leaving his listeners with a wave of good vibes. By his own admission, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and this reflects in his lyrics set against a sound that's both cinematic and atmospheric. Plus, he's a mainstay on the island hip-hop scene and shares his artistic generosity through collaborations. Lots of collaborations. This is one of his many available singles and features fellow rapper C. Ruth on the mic. It's Everything Is Fine by Braden V on iTunes.
Everything is fine, everything is fine. Everything ain't fine, I don't wanna kill the vibe. Life is just a ride, life is just a ride. Roller coaster ride, no one makes it out alive. Everything is fine, everything is fine. Everything ain't fine, I don't wanna kill the vibe. Life is just a ride, life is just a ride. Roller coaster ride, no one makes it out alive.
Yo, dreaming I was breezing in the sun. Best believe that I'll achieve, it seems that I'm the one. I've been steaming on the green for a while, breathing out the clouds. Blue sky, no ceiling, feeling lifted off the ground. Third eye opened, everything is falling down. If everyone's around, why's nobody hear the sound? Information age, they don't know who to believe now. What can I say? I wanna change, so I peaced out.
Everything is fine, everything is fine. Everything ain't fine, I don't wanna kill the vibe. Life is just a ride, life is just a ride. Roller coaster ride, no one makes it out alive. Everything is fine, everything is fine. Everything ain't fine, I don't wanna kill the vibe.
Yeah.
Life is just a ride, life is just a ride. Roller coaster ride, no one makes it out alive.
Trying to make it alive while I'm working the 9 to 5. Yeah, I can't deny the fact I need the money. It's kinda funny, when I was uni, said I would never be in this position. But look at me now and I have to rebound. I lost my mind chasing details. I work the retail, I roll your pizza on the regular. Ladies come around and say they wanna hit my cellular. In the nighttime I still shine, I'm just fine. In the meantime, the girls here, they're just right. Adjust time to set clock to go work. I'm back at it, started from the attic. Chevy came around and gave you vision from the attic now. That's an adjective, change the narrative, not derogative, not to relatives. Steady pushing paper for the man, I'm losing focus. Hoping to come alive, doing my sole purpose.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything ain't fine. I don't wanna kill the vibe. Life is just a ride. Life is just a ride. Roller coaster ride. No one makes it out alive.
Hi, this is Andy McDonald from 2 Hours Traffic and Golden Cinema, and you're listening to isletunes.
Like totally traveling back to 1984 with Panu and their track Video. This cut from their Les Rues Sont Vides album strays a bit from their poppy but still somewhat traditional Acadian sound and leans heavily into the signature new wave sound of the time. And who can forget how huge music videos were back then, considering how new the medium still was. This really made me miss arcade games too. This next artist can only ever imagine what it was like to waste quarters in arcades in the 80s because she wasn't even close to being around then. But that's no diss on her or the music she was able to create when she was only 14. Fiddler Kayla McCauley released her album Fortune Favors the Bow in 2017, rivaling the skill and dexterity of her older counterparts. And boastful full disclosure, her fiddle playing rocks the opening theme around here. Let's go from fiddle strings to heartstrings, which will all get pulled with Lonesome Eyes, brought to you by isletunes. I'd say keep the Kleenex handy, but they don't sell that in Canada anymore.
will always be found trampled by the roadside, trampled by the roadside. Make way, make love, make minds out of plaster and mud, out of plaster and mud. You said you speak quiet words that don't mean shit. No, they don't mean a thing now. All the joy has left my body now. Leaving it cold, dark and numb. Just close your eyes and wish it all away. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day.
Cud Eastbound and All the Joy here on iTunes. That's from Cud's 2012 offering, Furcula Little Fork. And I hope I said that right. Cud's latest album dropped last year, but in addition to musicianing, Cud is a graphic designer and makes their home in Dawson City. That's in the Yukon, by the way. If you think the weather from hurricane, tropical storm, whatever, Lee was bad a couple of weeks ago, and thankfully that ended up being the nothingest of nothing burgers for the most part, that's nothing compared to the weather event that's our only entry in this week in PEI history. October 3rd, 1851, the Yankee gale hit Prince Edward Island, or rather off the coast of PEI, and earned its name because a fishing fleet from New England was essentially decimated during the storm. It claimed 74 ships and 150 lives. The unforgiving winds kept up for 2 days, and this is still considered the worst marine disaster in the history of the island. If you're so inclined, tombs of Yankee Gale victims still stand in the cemetery at Cape Triumph. Hey, Halloween is coming up, and some people are into such excursions. Coming up, pastry funk, and doing a little baby making with Lawrence Maxwell. Bryson Guptill walks the way he talks. Or is that the way he sings? He started writing songs as a student at Acadia University in 1971, but took a 40-year break. Then he came back strong by qualifying as a semifinalist in the 2017 Canadian Songwriting Competition. Inspired in part by his having walked the famous Camino de Santiago in Spain, Bryson created the Island Walk, a 700-kilometer trek encircling PEI. So now you can go totally meta by listening to his music while walking the trail. Here's the title track from his 2015 Rise Little Mermaid, Rising Up on iTunes.
Rise, little mermaid, rise up from the sea. There in the sea foam, your body I see. Hair made of seaweed covers one breast, but not the rest. Call to the sailors, call out to them now. Call when the wind blows, whenever it howls. not by me. Hair bleached by sunshine, hair washed by rain, feel the pain. Once again, bleached by sunshine, hair washed by rain, feel the pain. Once again, rise, little mermaid, rise up from the sea. There in the sea foam, your body I see. Skin pale as driftwood, touched by the sea, but not by me. By the sea.
Walker, author, and singer-songwriter Bryson Guptill with Rise Little Mermaid on iTunes. In late August, I sat down with LaFunk founder and funky drummer Joe Chevery to talk about their unique place as one of the island's only disco bands. The short version was here on the pod, but the full video of our talk is on Patreon, which you can see as a subscriber for $5 a month, plug. I did film portions of their September 2nd show at Founders Hall, which I will get edited and Patreon posted in the next little while. At the gig, I saw what Joe meant when he said the song you're about to hear next is one of the band's most popular. It's got all the disco-y, glitterball goodness of your favorite 70s groups, and though the lyrics don't carry any significant messages, they don't need to. Concert goers loved this song, and you will too. This is Cookie Jar from their recently released Le Disco EP. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to hit Sobeys because I'm craving some cookies, damn it.
Getting close, I am a sweet freak, can't sleep. Snickerdoodle, chocolate chip, peanut butter, melted dip, oatmeal raisin, gluten-free, ginger snap sounds good to me. Snickerdoodle, chocolate chip, peanut butter, melted dip, oatmeal raisin, gluten-free, ginger snap sounds good to me. Hey, looky, looky, I got a cookie from the cookie jar. The cookie jar. I just got a boogie. I got a cookie. Looky, look at me. Look at me. Don't let them go stale. Cookie jail has no bail. You gotta fight for your bite like how you think. Glasses clink. Hey, looky, looky, I got a cookie from the cookie jar. The cookie jar. I just got a boogie. I got a cookie. I got a boogie 'cause I got a cookie, looky at me.
Sweet as sugar, but without those pesky calories that have wreaked havoc on my waistline. That's Le Funk with Cookie Jar on iTunes. They're playing Street Feast this week, but they're not the only band whose music you can feast on as we begin October, and I'm gonna tell yous about them. How about right now? If you happen to be listening to this before noon today, Sunday, October 1st, head over to the Eastlink Center for the Treaty Day Mawiomi, featuring Mi'kmaq music, games, storytelling, a feast, and more. At the Mont Carmel Parish Hall, it's the Festival de la Chanson du Grand Ruisseau, featuring the Chad Matthews Band. Tuesday, October 3rd, it's the Ross Family Cayley at the Guild. Thursday, October 5th, Island Jazz featuring Dan Dwaran is at Baba's Lounge. Friday, October 6th, it's a big one. Lawrence Maxwell, poet of the common man. It's a tribute to Merle Haggard. That's at the Harborfront Theater. As I mentioned before, Le Funk is playing at Street Feast. And October 6th, 7th, and 8th, it's the Evangeline Country Music Festival featuring Jordan Leclerc at the Village Musical Acadien in Abraham Village. Saturday, October 7th, it's Tara McLean at the Sobey Family Theater, or the artist formerly known as the Confed Center. And the Ellis Family Band is at the Scott McCauley Performing Arts Center in Summerside. Looking into next week, October 8th, Nathan Wiley and Kira Lone back up Logan Stats at the Trailside Music Hall. October 10th, the Ross Family Cayley is back at the Guild. October 12th, it's Island Jazz featuring the Neighbors Quartet at Baba's Lounge. October 12th also sees Benny Vaughn at the Trailside. October 14th, Logan Richard plays with Dylan Menzie and Andy Glidden at the Harmony House in Hunter River. And October 13th, 14th, and 15th, you can catch Nick Donoff as he performs a John Prine weekend at the Trailside. Now, as I promised, I've got a fella for you who's not your typical country crooner. He blends the traditional sounds of the 60s and 70s icons with modern themes. His first album was conceived aboard a warship, and he's a poetry-writing cowboy. All that can only mean I've got Lawrence Maxwell here with me in the iTunes studios, otherwise known as my basement, and albeit by phone, talk about traditional. I know how busy you are. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your crowded calendar to chat with me.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. Look forward to it.
It's good to have you. Now, your website, lawrencemaxwell.com, by the way, says you came up with the idea for your first of 3 albums while you were serving in the Royal Canadian Navy. Songwriting isn't usually uppermost in most sailors' minds, so how did that come about?
I was kind of inspired by some shipmates. There's one particular guy who had a guitar on board, and previous to that, I'd been kind of just singing at karaoke bars. And then I figured, it might be nice to accompany myself when I'm singing. So he kind of showed me a few things. And when I picked up my guitar, I just really immersed myself in learning the instrument as much as I could, at least to accompany the songwriting, because I always felt like I had something to contribute. And a lot of my time on the ship, late at night, I spent a lot of time reflecting on life in general and the path that I was on. So it just seemed a natural transition when I had a guitar in my hand that those were the first kind of memories that I was working through those late nights on ship.
Yeah, speaking of inspiration, country music has been so much more pop-based since the 90s, but it would have been easy to follow in those pop footsteps, but instead you were led towards this more classic sound. What pulled you in that direction, and what inspired you to put a more modern spin on your lyrical subject matter?
Well, the main inspiration that I would draw reference to would be Sturgill Simpson, who's a country artist. Well, he kind of blends genres now, and when I first heard of him, he was doing traditional country music, but he was singing about psychedelics and all these, non-traditional modes and experiences that aren't typically found in traditional country music, but it had that traditional sound. And I thought that it was so refreshing to hear a lot of the things that I liked about country music being represented through his music, but it was also his current and modern observations. So that's something that I kind of took in my own writing, was like, okay, I like this old sound, but I also like to talk about what's going on now. I think there's, enough songs about broken hearts and stuff. And it's like, it's not that I can't write one like that, but it's like, what does that look like in the current age? And personally for me, but I never try to peg myself into one particular hole. I like to remain open. If I feel inspired by a certain song that I write and I feel it deserves an old style production with fiddle and steel, I'm going to do that. And if I feel like, oh, maybe we can put some synth and stuff on this, I'm going to explore that too. And I don't really see myself as being responsible for doing one or the other. I just feel the calling to do what serves the song and what I like, and then hopefully that translates in some way.
And today your writing extends to poetry, which definitely shares genres with lyrics. Now you've just released a collection of poems called Collection Plates and Slot Machines, and I love the cover, by the way. It's so subversive. Talk to us about the book and what inspired that, and what drives your artistic need to venture beyond lyric writing.
Yeah, the book was something that developed, I guess, over the last year and a half. I was finding myself disconnected a bit from the world with, the various lockdowns and everything going on, and moving out into the country. I started to just focus on the lyric, and I wouldn't say that I was not writing songs at the same time. I think I still wrote a few songs during this period, but for whatever reason, the focus just switched to this pure lyric type of writing. I'd already heard of Leonard Cohen doing poetry, and I'd read some of his books, and that kind of led me into discovering more about Milton Acorn and more about Ted Kooser, who was U.S. Poet Laureate, Terrence Hayes, and some of these more contemporary poets. And I started to find that I had something to share in this particular medium, and the book idea kind of came together. I'd probably written a couple of hundred poems at the time, and I'd figured I'd keep writing till I got to about 400. I'd do double what I had, and then I'd select 100 from that. And it just kind of became this process of writing and editing. And then I reached out to some friends of mine who are, graphic designers, Brandon Hood and Aidan Searle, and kind of told them the idea for the book. And then Brandon kind of took the lead on the design, and then Aidan kind of worked on the typeface and the book layout. Sure enough, after, a number of months of, I guess the better part of a year of having this idea, it kind of all came together. And it was a very fulfilling process, and it's nice to have that kind of chapter being exposed to the world at this point, even though I'm kind of moving back into the songwriting. But I do think the two go hand in hand, but I also think that they are separate, and their intention kind of speaks to you when they arrive that this is going to be a poem and this will be a song. But sometimes there's a bit of overlap, but I think I approach them quite differently.
As I mentioned in my gig announcements, you've got a big show at the Harborfront this Friday, October 6th. Now, what made you want to do a full-length tribute to Merle Haggard, and what can concert goers expect at the show?
I have been playing in a cover band for a number of years on top of my original work, and we do a lot of classic country music, and I always found myself really able to sing Merle Haggard songs and really connected with not only the words, but also the way that he sings and expresses himself through the songs. And so I just kind of decided through that process and playing with that group that I'd learn more of his music and learn more of his history. So I was reading books and watching documentaries and live performances and listening to albums and just consuming a lot of his story from many different angles. And then I kind of created the show around that research, and it has a bit of a flow to it where it does tell some stories in between the songs. But yeah, the show itself, it's going to feature a 6-piece band with some excellent musicians: Peter Can, Thomas Webb, Mark Geddes, Nick Donovan, Ben Aiken, and yeah, really looking forward to sharing that with the audience there.
Now, you're not going to hear this song at that show, but I picked it because of the provocativeness of the title. So it's going to be Lawrence Maxwell taking the time to yap with me, and now we're going to play some baby-making music from Lawrence Maxwell's 2022 album Ballad of Miles on iTunes. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
I forgot how hard it is to sit and socialize. Same old storybook, but no one reads between the lines. Almost thought that we would figure it all out this time. I miss the distance, time for me to go back inside. Look to the sky to find a meaning. But there's no sky, 'cause I'm inside. It's only a ceiling. It's baby making music. I said, baby, don't abuse it. It's baby making music. I forgot how hard it is to be a man in love. I took some chances on romances, they were never enough. You make it easy for me to see what's in my heart. And now we're racing, take your places, baby, right from the start. Take it too far, it's love in the making. But we took it too far, right from the start. Now my heart's breaking. 'Cause any way you do it, it's baby making music. I said, baby, don't abuse it. I like to move it, move it. I'll sing it one more time. Can you read between the lines? 'Cause any way you do it, it's baby making music. Woo! It's baby making music. Any way you do it, it's baby making music. Baby making music.
Lawrence Maxwell getting the juices flowing with baby-making music from his album Ballad of Miles, which Roots Music Canada deemed the first great alt-country album of 2022. If you want to hear more of Lawrence's thoughts via the rest of our chat, keep your eyes on Patreon for the full video of that interview. I'm admittedly behind on getting this stuff edited. There are only so many hours in a day and only so much energy I have. But my discussions with Drea McDonald, LaFunk, and Sirene Matelot, aka Lenny Gallant and Patricia Richard, are already up there. Help support iTunes at patreon.com/iTunes. What else? Want to record yourself uttering your favorite island phrase and send it to me? I'll feature it at the opening of an episode. Email me at amj@iletunes.ca or leave me a voice message at 902-807-4250. Those are the ways you can leave me a comment about the podcast as well. Still working on that friggin' website issue. If iletunes.ca is still flagging as some sort of phishing whatnot, even though it doesn't have a malicious bite in its digital body, let me know. And in the meantime, of course, iTunes is on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, iHeart, and RSS.com. Hard to believe Thanksgiving is next Monday already. So for the next episode of iTunes, I'll see what I can do about digging into the cornucopia of island music and pull out some songs about being grateful, or at least things we tend to be grateful for. Not that we shouldn't be grateful every day, just saying. Help get the word out about iTunes, the only podcast to pull all of Prince Edward Island's music into one place through social media, word of mouth. Skywriting is good. Telepathy? Also, like iTunes on Facebook, where I'll provide you with where to buy links for all the artists I play. Musical contribution to the iTunes theme by Kayla McCauley and John Hashem. Show concept by Rocky O'Neill. I'm Adam Michael James. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to bringing more of the island to you through music next week. Be good, and if you can't be good at it. See you later.